Hey guys, it's Jessica, and yes, I'm wearing a very bold look. You'll see it in its entirety without a glare on my glasses, because I'll take my glasses off here in a little bit. But first, I just want to tell you guys the names of these shadows right here. There are a total of 8, and starting from this side right here, we have 127, which is just a matte brown. Then we have Midnight Purple, then Gold Pink 04, Icy Pink, Icy Blue, Cannon, I think that says Cannon at least, and then Snow White right here at the very end. So that is the shades. I'm assuming that the only permanent shades is the 127 and the 04, which is the matte brown and matte black. I'm very glad that they have a matte brown as well as a matte black. I think it's a great idea. So here are the swatches. On top we have the wet swatches, and on the bottom we have dry swatches. And I know that they're kind of difficult to see, but the first one right there is the matte brown, which kind of has a little bit of shimmer still anyway in it anyway. And then right next to that we have the purple, then we have the rose gold color, then the matte black, then a very light champagne shade that you can barely see, then the icy blue shade, and then the Cannon shade, and then the Snow White shade, which you can barely see. So honestly, for this being Makeup Forever, I honestly thought these shadows would perform way better than they do perform. They're just not, they're not that great. The mattes are wonderful. I really like the mattes, but the rest of them fell flat for me. They're not that pigmented. They're really hard to get on the lid. Usually I like to just use my fingers. Overall, I am not very impressed with this palette. I really should give my reviews like a grading system of some sort, like a star system, but this wouldn't get very many stars. It is not the most amazing palette. So you could tell by the swatches, excuse me, that if you use them wet, then you could tell that they're a little bit more pigmented, which is great and fantastic and wonderful, and that's the way that I usually like to use them on my lids. However, when you use them wet, you get like this film across them. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a hard film. I usually get them wet at one side. I test every single eyeshadow palette that I own wet and dry, because I want to know if I can use it wet. I want to know if I can use it dry. So whenever I do that, I do only wet down one side of the palette. So like this side is the wet side, and then this side is the dry side. Does that make sense? Because I know that sometimes shadows will get that weird film over them, and then like when you try to swatch it, you don't get very, you see that compared to that, like two totally different swatches dry. So like if this was wet, I would still be able to get a nice, you know, nice pigmentation from it. Like I'll just go ahead and show you. See? Nice. It's nice pigmentation, and it's very similar to the dry swatch. But if I was to swatch the wet patch dry when it dried, it would not be as pigmented. So there's those two swatches. Another thing I like is that I feel like every single one of these shades, except for the black, has like a duochrome feel to it. I feel like you get a different kind of tone to the color, or a completely different color, depending on which way you look at it. Like this blue sometimes looks purple to me, and it's really beautiful. I don't know if I can get it to translate on camera, but it can look really pretty. It can also look white. So I do like that about this palette, that you do get all kinds of different shades. It's also really small, and maybe I have let's see, what's a common product that people I guess I could compare it to mascara. So this is the Lash Sensational mascara. You can see it's smaller than a mascara tube, like lengthwise, and widthwise it would be like 2 mascaras. It's a really small palette. I really like that about it. Plus it's adorable, but performance wise it is not my favorite. It's probably one of my least favorite. I was incredibly disappointed. I'm glad that I got this at TJ Maxx for $16 as opposed to in Sephora or something for $35. I'm sorry, it is not worth $35, and that's what this all comes down to. Is it worth the money? I'd say no, this is not worth the money. Maybe it's worth $16, maybe it's worth what I paid for it, but it's definitely not worth what they asked for it, which was I think $35. So yeah, that is my full review on the Makeup Forever eyeshadow palette. If you want to see the other looks that I've done, I will link them down below. There's going to be quite a few of them, and you're also going to be seeing some uploaded this coming week because I'm just kind of behind on filming. I need to do some BU videos that I have been thinking about doing. I just need to get back into the saddle and start filming more again. I know I go through these phases a lot and I'm really sorry. Sometimes I just feel so out of sorts with myself that it's hard to get in front of the camera and talk to you guys, even though that's all I want to do. So I hope you guys are still with me. I hope that you're still sticking with me. If you are, it means the entire world to me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review of this palette, because I sure did enjoy testing this palette out a little more than I thought I would. I like putting palettes that I don't like to the test sometimes. This failed. This failed. This is a huge thumbs down. If you see it on eBay or something, don't buy it. It's not worth the money at all. Not even a little bit. So yeah, at least full price or more, because I think it's a limited edition palette. So I think that, you know, it might not be worth anything. I don't know. It did come with a brush in here, but I don't know where I put it, and it was decent, but it wouldn't like do the job. You know what I mean? Like it's not good enough for the job. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I love you guys very, very, very much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye bye, guys.